We're getting ready to leave our camp here just outside of Idaho City. We plan on going into town for a little while to sightsee a little bit. It's got an old Western theme, so it should be pretty interesting. We're here at Idaho City and we're gonna check out the visitor center.
All right, let's go. Idaho City was founded upon gold discovered here in 1862. And in the rush that followed, thousands of miners flocked to the area, making Idaho City the largest population center in the Northwest, bigger than Portland. Okay, so these are the old buildings and it says which one is what. We tried this chocolate. Wild huckleberry.
Sounds good.
You can carry this until we pay for it, okay?
When we pay for it, can we have some chocolate?
It looks really good. And it's made here.
Made here in town?
Well, it's made for here.
It's made for the town?
That
smells good.
It's Sammy smell.
Here, smell it. Smell it?
Yeah, don't eat all of it because I'm gonna want to try.
Okay, you want to try a piece?
Yeah.
Here you go. Oh, that's good. It's got like this creamy huckleberry filling inside. That's really good.
That is good. Yummy huckleberry chocolate. The courthouse. This is actually an original building. The construction started in 1871 in July and it was finished in October, so it took them 3 months to build this. So this is an original building. So this building here that currently is the museum, it originally was a post office and it was built in 1867.
Is it heavy? Can you move it? See if Daddy can try. Oh, that is heavy. Wow. That's where they keep all their money.
Oh, this is easy to open.
Is there any gold in there? Blacksmith shop. They have some stuff in there that you actually think that's really cool.
And it has a lens.
Look at all the tools.
Look at here. This is, well, it's been many things. It's been a jail, a firehouse, and it was also a contagious disease hospital at some point. A good atmosphere to bring you back to health. So you're sick on the bed, they put you in the bathtub, in the wheelchair, and then there's a coffin as a reminder that you might not get better.
Was there need to be a doctor in there?
Yeah, there probably was a doctor in there at one point. Well, there's an antique store right here. Maybe we should check out to see if they have any washboards.
For appointment.
Oh well. It's a bunny rabbit piggy bank. I used to have one of these just like this when I was a kid.
There was a big fire here in Idaho City that burned a lot of the town. And so in response to that, they started building these buildings that are brick. And they also had metal shutters and doors, so that in case of fire, they would be protected. So they called them fireproofs.
I think it's some sort of longhorn beetle. This is called Pioneer Cemetery. It was established here in Idaho City in 1863. It's 40 acres and there's approximately 3,000 graves here. Are.
I think it was interesting that they actually had different sections of the cemetery for different people. Like all the Catholics were buried in one area, and then they had a different section for Chinese people. And it says on here that no graves are present in that section because all the bodies were removed and returned to China. Then they had also a space where all of the convicts were buried, and that was outside of the cemetery. So it's just really interesting. And also what's interesting is that out of 200 first plots that were dug here, only 28 people died of natural causes.
Interesting visiting these cemeteries because they're not just graves, but they represent people. Each one represents a person who had different hopes and dreams and aspirations and desires. Each one is a whole life.
And I also always find it interesting, it makes you just realize that even though people in the past lived differently and the culture was different and they dressed differently and everything like that, but they still were people that you can really easily identify with. They cared for their families and they loved people, and so it just makes you realize that oftentimes when you read about people in history and stuff, you just disconnect and don't realize that they're same human beings like you are, and they're experiencing same emotions and they're exposed to similar things. I don't know, I always find that interesting. And so it's always kind of, it's sad but also sweet to read sentiments on some of the graves, and know that that's true. What are you wearing, Sammy?
A hat.
Daddy's cowboy hat? How are you a cowboy? Can you show Mommy? What do you do with your hat when you're a cowboy?
I'm
What do you do with your hat when you're a cowboy?
I'm
That's right.
We're leaving Idaho City now, and we're headed towards Boise. Hopefully we'll make it to Boise today still. We've been thinking that we were gonna get to Boise now for the last several days. Every day we think, okay, now we're gonna get to Boise, but there's always something that prevents us from getting there. The first reason why we couldn't make it there was because we had to stop at the tire place to have our brakes checked. The second time we thought we were gonna make it to Boise, but we didn't, was because we were detoured because of a forest fire. So that was a really long detour, so it prevented us from getting there yesterday. So today, we are expecting to finally make it, even though we're planning on stopping at 1 or 2 state parks before we get there. But if all goes well, today will be the day when we finally get to Boise. Stopped just outside of Boise at Lucky Peak State Park. The boys are napping. Well, at least Theo is napping. I don't think Sammy is yet, but we're just thinking about taking a quick break before getting into the city. It's a really hot day today, and there's a breeze, but it's really warm. It's a warm breeze. To Boise, finally. It's been a milestone all week, and it's fun that we finally made it here. Now we're just out of town at a state park. It's Eagle Island State Park, and we're just hanging out until it gets late enough to go to bed. We're gonna try to make dinner here, and then we plan on going to a Walmart that's nearby to stay the night.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Wow.
So I actually called ahead to Walmart to make sure that they allow overnight parking for a motorhome. I did it actually yesterday when we were at the beach because I thought that's where we were headed, but I assume it's still okay.
It's 97 degrees right now. It was 100 earlier, and it's 7:45 right now. So we are pretty hot right now. It's a lot hotter in our motorhome. We parked over in the shade, but it's a lot hotter over there, so we're just hanging out outside. That's why we wanted to come here to a park before going to Walmart, because at Walmart there probably won't be shade in the parking lot, so we would just be roasting in there. So it's good that we can just come to a park. Even though it's hot still outside, it's a lot cooler than it would be if we were just cooped up in the motorhome. And yeah, we could run the generator for a while, you know, and cool it down, but we're trying to conserve our gas. Our generator runs on the same gasoline that our motorhome runs on, so we're trying to conserve that as much as we can. Yeah, that could be exercising. Dinner looks good.
Ah, thank you. It's really fun cooking in 90-degree weather. At least we're doing it outside. Alright, so the dinner is almost ready. We're gonna have it and then head out to Walmart to spend the night there. We'll see you guys later.
Alright, bye.
Bye-bye.